President Trump recently signed an executive order intended to tamp down on what he views as censorship by social media platforms such as Twitter.
The choices that Twitter makes when it chooses to suppress, edit, blacklist, shadow, ban, are editorial decisions, pure and simple. They're editorial decisions. In those moments, Twitter ceases to be a neutral public platform.
His move comes on the heels of Twitter's recent decision to fact-check Trump's tweets and label another as glorifying violence. Marianne Franks of the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative says Trump's executive order threatens the very democratic ideals it claims to protect.
There is a real conversation to be had about the role of social media platforms and the role that they play in public discourse, but this was the worst possible way to have that conversation because it's such a naked exercise on the part of the president to try to do exactly what the First Amendment prohibits, which is government interference with the freedom of speech.
The executive order targets Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which shields online platforms from liability for user-generated content, but also allows them to remove content that is offensive, violent, or objectionable.
Social media companies that engage in censoring or any political conduct will not be able to keep their liability shield.
The Center for Democracy and Technology has filed a lawsuit, arguing that the executive order will discourage social media companies from flagging misinformation during a critical election year.
Suddenly, when they're looking at tweets from far-right blogs or from far-left blogs, and they're trying to decide, should we fact-check this? Should we add information that says, you may want to get a little bit more information about this? They're going to be deterred from doing so because of the fear of government retaliation.
Facebook has chosen to take more of a hands-off approach.
I don't think that Facebook or internet platforms in general should be arbiters of truth.
The company removed Trump campaign ads featuring a Nazi symbol after pressure from civil rights groups and 1.4 million combined impressions.
Zuckerberg can say that they're not supposed to be arbiters of truth, but what he's really saying is they're going to disavow all their responsibility for getting us to this moment that we're in.
So who's ultimately responsible for policing social media content? A recent poll conducted by Gallup and the Knight Foundation found that Americans aren't settled on the answer.
They don't really trust the social media companies. An earlier poll of ours also found that they trust the government even less to make those rules. So there's a trust gap.
Independent oversight boards may be one solution.
8 in 10 of Americans think that independent bodies that can set content policy for platforms is good, as long as they have some of the qualities that we typically associate with broader democratic institutions, such as transparency, such as independence, such as diversity.
In a space full of online voices, it's one way to make sure everyone is heard. Tina Trin, VOA News, New York.